For Sarah, all this graduate driver's licensing is for her own good.
I know, yeah. No, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, I know the person who. No, it's actually super smart. You know, like the way that it's worded and everything. It's like this totally makes sense. Like, why did somebody do that a long time ago? But you know what? I think they still.
It's been about 20 years now.
Yeah, they still. She's probably not going to take the road test though. They still haven't. They haven't put that back in since COVID.
Oh, really?
Can you believe? Like they did away with it. They're like, you don't need the road test. They haven't added it back in yet. I think the DMV just decided we don't care. We don't need to do that. So anyway, it's time they may change it, but when we went in, they said it's still not instituted back, reinstituted. Which should make you nervous to think that all these teenagers that are getting the driver's license have not had to take a road test.
Well, especially because driving is so experiential that it's one of those things that you get better at. Because when I was 16, I was responsible, but the mechanics I was terrible at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kids now don't have to take driver's ed and get a certain number of hours behind the wheel?
No, you have to do all that. You have to take classroom instruction and you have to.
But it's private now. They don't have it as part of the classes.
You have to pay for it, yeah. No, you have to do all that. You just don't have to take, in Wisconsin at least right now, you don't have to take the road test with the person sitting by you, you know. But you have to do all the training.
Oh, fantastic, it's level.
It is a little scary for people to get a license
Without having,
without a driver's test.
Yep.
Yeah, Mason didn't.
Yeah. So.
It makes me question if
That's
I'm
right.
gonna have good driving.
Well, I mean, we're not gonna let her get it in if we don't feel like she's
Yeah.
not, you know.
The parents have to sign, they feel they're ready, so that's part of it.
Well, because they're on your insurance, and so you're gonna be legally responsible for them anyway.
Well, my dad had no driver's test. In fact, he bought a car in Brooklyn and drove himself to Bible College down in Florida. And he drove like that too, let's be honest. In fact, this is a true story. Apparently, the police department in Waupun used to know what Dad's car was and what Dr. Ed's car was. And they always assumed they were on important business. Either Dr. Ed had to deliver a baby or Dad was going to minister to somebody, and so as a result, they didn't stop them. Then there was a cop in town who had some problems and had gone to Dad for counseling. And Dad had gotten a new car. And the police officer was like crying the whole time he's writing the ticket. I'm so sorry, Pastor George. But yeah, Treville's a small town, Wisconsin.
Well, there's advantages to grow up in a small town.
Did he teach you about?
My dad? Yes. I passed on the 4th try.
Oh, David.
But you passed.
What?
But you
But I
passed.
eventually passed, yes. The first time, though, the examiner came and said, quite frankly, Reverend Wilson, your son scared the hell out of me.
Well, Sarah didn't pass on her first time because where she
Thanks for
drove,
sharing.
there was a stop sign that was a no stop.
Said right turn, no stop.
Right turn, no stop. Which most of the time, it's stop and then you can take a right on red. But on this one, uniquely, it was a right turn, no stop. And so she did that in the driving test, and the person was like, because you're supposed to stop, on the other ones and then take the right. And so then it didn't go, because you can't break the law and pass. But it was probably good to have to do a second time.
You never forget it.
Yep, that's our thing. All right, let's go ahead and consider ourselves to have entered into our regularly scheduled business meeting for January 2023. So we got a new year, and we have minutes from December of 2022 before us. And so is there a motion to receive? All right, so George got the motion to receive. Is there a second?
Much better now. So I had a nice holiday.
Second.
All right, thank you very much. And then is there any correction that anybody has seen? Not saying that there would be, because David did, and so therefore we know it's going to be good. But it's always good. It's really hard to give a compliment without it being taken as a negative thing, which was not intended to be the thing. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, no. And so then that passes. Then we have a somewhat thick document from Dick with respect to finances. And so come up here. I brought a lectern in case that you have to set things down.
Well, I appreciate that. It's thicker because it's the end of the year, and I'm trying to cover the whole year as well as the last month. And first of all, when you look at the account balances sheet, do not despair. It turns out we actually closed several accounts and shifted to investment accounts. So all the money that you saw up above before, a lot of it you can find down at the bottom there in our total of investment accounts. We got through the year extremely well. I will point out to you, however, that at 12/31, that the balance in the checking account is way too high. And it is my intent to make a transfer of some of that money to the investment account so it will earn some interest rather than staying in the checking account. The Constitution allows me to do that, but I like everybody to know what's happening. That's why I put that in there. That is a disclaimer, so that you will not be surprised if the checking account looks like it's got less money in it next time I make a report, because it will have less money next time. The next sheet, which is printed sideways because I wanted to put the whole year down plus the month, has to do with how we did with respect to our budget during the year. And I would like you to know it's remarkable that we came as close as we did, because prices went up on a number of things during the last year. So you should congratulate your stewardship committee on coming up with a reasonable budget, and we hope to do that. But if you have any questions on any of those, the thing over here on the expenses, there are categories, and we have everything divided up into where it belongs. But again, out of that amount of money on the expenses, to be within $3,000 over a period of 12 months is remarkable to me. So, any questions on that? That is, it gives you the month, and it also gives you the whole year. Question? Okay, the final thing is the register report for the month of December. I think it looks very much like everything we have seen before. Not much difference in things, and I think I've explained all of those different things that are on there. But if anyone has a question about what some of the cryptic indications of the description is or are, I would be happy to tell you. So that's my report.
I thought it was gonna go much longer. And
Well,
so,
that's the amount of paper doesn't have.
I see
anything
we
to do
have
with it.
been-
I mean, you have a whole Bible and you don't preach on the whole thing.
well, that is true. That is true. Is there a motion to receive? All right, and a second from Tammy. And any questions? Because you may have a question.
I see there was a return check for Kids Best.
Yes, well, that happens occasionally. And you realize that we pay a penalty if somebody gives us a bad check. I think that's still unfair.
I know, that's like, yeah,
They shouldn't have to be doing that.
But the good news is, then
you
I
charge it to the
pass
person,
along
yeah.
the penalty to the person who did it.
Oh,
But it is kind of backwards, you know.
Yeah.
are we in the black then with that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that amount of money, the 150 is, I mean, quite a bit.
Yeah, so no, we got reimbursed
Okay.
plus the fee.
Okay.
And so, not a problem with that. Anybody else have any other questions?
What's the E-Lane? Is that old car member?
Alon,
That's the credit card.
Oh,
That's who our carrier is. And so
Oh.
the check has to be made out to them.
Oh,
Actually, but
Definitely, I've seen a change in prices when I go to Costco to buy stuff for Kids Best. The last time I went, I spent almost as much as I had for a week in the summertime when I was buying double snacks for, the two snacks a day. And I didn't get nearly as much this last time.
It has gone up.
Yes.
Well, just the egg prices.
mhm.
I saw a little thing about that. It's like $7 for, is it like a 18 pack?
Whoa.
And so I told Sarah, I'm not gonna eat eggs for a while unless that Russell definitely give me some eggs. And I'll eat those.
They heard you.
And so then they ended up bringing some eggs. We're like, cool. I mean, I didn't ask, but yeah. So things have gotten, and supposedly the Fed says that inflation has overall started to get under control a little bit.
Yeah, well, the price of the eggs is also raising the price of the bacon is because there's been a lot of depopulation
Yeah.
of birds and it's not just in the state of Wisconsin, but it's become an international thing where millions of chickens are having to be slaughtered in order to stop the avian flu.
Yeah.
And it seems like every time that they're starting to make, I'm saying this, I work in agriculture. Every time that, and so the last 2 times that we've gotten close to being able to eradicate the disease, it's re-popped up again. So the eggs have been caught in this whole
Yeah.
Yeah.
spiral that they're just gonna be expensive for another like 6 months now.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. So people will adjust and then we'll eat more cereal or
Yep.
something like that.
Is there any way around the egg crisis? I guess not.
Raise your own chickens.
Raise your chickens.
Yep.
Yeah.
As long as they don't
Stephanie,
have avian flu.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to this one? So then all in favor of approving the budget report as presented, say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, no? Yeah.
I have one more announcement to make. The records for the month of December are now down in the office area,
Yeah.
in the file cabinet, and they're ready for audit. If the trustees would like to audit them, which they should.
All right. This is good.
Is the audit a pretty quick process when you do
It
that?
depends on how you want to do it.
Yeah, the trustees usually take a couple hours. I mean, so in terms of how long it could take, it's actually expeditious. So now that we have the finance report, excuse me, are there any other teams or committees that would have standing reports? Yes, sir?
You want me to present this from the deacons leadership?
Yes, if you would, and then we'll note that the draft status is that a couple of mistakes are on there.
Okay, if you pick up the 2023 leadership positions
So it looks like that.
in the back, you'll see who those people that have been asked to serve as in leadership positions of our church. The deacons is the nominating committee. I would note, and this is what Bob was referring to, that on the right side of the page, stewardship, counter leader should be me. And then Sarah Stein and Rebecca Stein should be added as counters. So I know those corrections.
Thank you. So since it comes from a team, it doesn't need a second, but we can discuss it and make other corrections as you see as necessary. Is there anything else that needs to be corrected up? Seeing none, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, no. All right, so then that passes through. And then any other teams and or committees that would have reports? All righty, and then to old business. I think that Wes reminded me to take care of the old business thing. That was helpful because I had said that I would get the address of, is it July?
Jumai.
Okay.
And Philip.
And so then, so I got a lot of drainage today. I apologize. So, got that and I saw an email come back from Leo.
Oh, good.
So then I think that address has come back for us to go take care of that. So any other old, not that I know of, but I think that's the only thing. And then coming on to new.
I have a question.
Okay.
Go ahead. No,
No,
go ahead.
You already spoke up
Go ahead.
first.
He's
Go
still
ahead.
on. Go ahead.
Well, it's still a few months away, but I will be putting the garden boxes to use this summer. And there will be some expense for buying plants or seeds or whatever, so I don't know how far in advance that had to get approved, questioned, you know, that kind of thing, so.
Okay, since, we had talked about it and I thought that, those things would end up being a Kids Best kind of related, deal.
Yeah, 'cause the
but-
food is supposed to supplement that budget, so yeah.
Yeah, and so then, so that would be the funding source, for that. And then the kids will be involved, to, water and pick and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Except that it goes a lot better when someone who actually knows what's going on is overseeing it rather than someone who doesn't know what's going on. The prior time when we had someone who knew what was going on, take the lead was when John Woodford, did that.
Yeah.
And wow, it was great. And so, I'm not bad with watering, but, I think more has to happen. I don't know why. And so we're thankful. And does it need anything other than just knowing that it's going to come out of Kids Best and everything's good? Okay, then we're all good. So, whatever you got to get, then go ahead.
I was just I think it will be obvious by the time you go to work with them, but remember that the 3 or 4 beds that are parallel to the fence and closest to the fence have got flowers planted there, tulips.
Okay, yeah, I saw some bulbs, I planted some seeds that are supposed to come up in the spring, so I've seen some bulbs in there, but
Yeah, those that are parallel to and up right up next to the fence, Mason planted tulip bulbs in there.
And
okay.
so are you referring to the ones that are outside of the fence or inside the fence?
Oh, outside.
Outside.
Yeah.
So the 3 that are closest that you.
Yeah.
So those would be the ones that you're referring to. All right. And so.
Hopefully you'll see the flowers growing by the time you would be digging anything up.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I planted a lot of pollinator plants for the veggies and stuff, and I've got some more to put in there, so.
Okay.
I tried to put them in the farthest one away from where the kids are so that the bees won't bother the kids. But the
Yeah.
plants are gonna be probably 4 foot tall, so that'll keep them away from the kids too.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Very excited about that. Thank you so much for doing that. Then you had your hand.
Yep. The reports of giving should be done this week. I'll be mailing them out to people as financial secretary.
And thank you for all that work that you do. I don't know, do they have to be mailed or can you just bring the ones that people who come
I
normally?
could bring them, but it's just, I think it's gonna be easier to just.
Just
mail
easier
them
just to
out
do that.
everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to, keep from paying postage if at all possible, but
Yeah.
whichever way. All right. Any other, new? Yes, sir.
We're supposed to be a nonprofit organization, and we got money. And I would like to suggest that a committee or buildings and grounds or someone look at the possibility of taking care of a lot of the wear and tear that's showing up on the building. I know that one time I was told that the gym floor has lots of dead spots in it. It needs attention. The men's bathroom at least needs a great deal of work. I haven't been in the ladies' bathroom, but you can't expect the janitor to keep it up and make it look good if you've got paint that's bad, if you've got carpet that's worn. And I think about the basement hallway.
Yeah.
That carpet really needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
I would suggest that rather than having Rich do everything or Wes do everything, that we get professionals to fix that, because it's not that we don't have the money to do it, but it needs to be done.
Yes.
I think there's some painting needs to be refreshed too.
Yeah.
So I propose that. I make a motion that we.
So he's got the motion. Can I get a second? No. All right. So Tammy got the second. And so then, anybody want to discuss it?
Well, then we have like a list, we have to make a list of projects that need to get done, basically.
Well, that's what the committee would do.
Right, a list of projects to get after, like prioritize.
Yeah. And that'd be great. So I think that's an important thing. So then, let's take care in 2 stages. All in favor of that committee being formed, say aye,
Aye.
and all opposed, no. And then now we can vote to figure out how that we will compose the committee. And so, since you thought about it, maybe, do you have a recommendation on how that we compose it?
I recommend the Building and Grounds Committee, but an addition to it of several of the female persuasion that can tell things like that.
Yeah.
I do not trust the Buildings and Grounds Committee.
Maybe
Thanks
get
a lot,
Connie,
Dick.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna look on there and see.
maybe Connie, maybe you have some input.
Yeah,
And
well-
there's been talk about replacing the countertop in the
Yeah.
kitchen
In
too.
kitchen,
Oh,
Yeah.
Especially the wood one around the sinks. It's
Oh.
pretty bad.
good.
Yeah, no, because that one needs to be, and I talked to Abraham from the Ethiopian church. So Rich is coming out now, so we're gonna have some input. That's good.
Anything to do with the kitchen has to be a whole kitchen remodel.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so I mentioned to Abraham that since he does a variety of flooring, not just, cleaning, but doing flooring,
Right.
that I'd like for him to stop by and look at it, and then give some recommendations as to
Right.
what we ought to do. Because the tile, obviously, is going to have to get replaced because it's either coming up in places a little porous,
It's
various
cracked.
things.
I have not been able to find a tile in there that's glued down.
Yeah,
You can tap on any tile and it's hollow sounding. They're all gonna pop out like nothing.
yeah,
But any tile that comes up and a new floor goes down, if you're gonna replace, then cabinets have to be replaced too.
yeah.
You could in theory do the island by itself without doing the outer part, but the floor should be done at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, and Rich has, I figure that you have talked to more people than just me, but I don't know, about, the different cabinetry needing to be, taken care of,
Yeah,
which I do think, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make sure that that one gets on the table
Right.
for that. So can we, I was looking through there. So, oh, no. Can we count you to be part of the committee?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be good. And then, so Wes, since you're chair of building and grounds, I'm assuming that you're gonna be on the committee. And then those who would have interest and expertise, talk to Wes. And then Wes will let people know next month,
Oh, yeah.
who's on the committee.
Yeah, one more thing, that metal roof on the gym has been there since the building went up. And I think it needs a thorough inspection and re-seaming and whatever else it needs. Because that's a lot of years for a roof to stand up to the Wisconsin. weather.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
No, metal roofs do hold up although.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
It needs to be inspected.
but to have it inspected to make sure, so that would be a good safety thing, through there. So, you're okay with people talking to you to volunteer in that? All right, that sounds good. So we'll just approach it that way, and then next month we'll, do that. All right, that's good. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, I have a couple items. So the Super Bowl is on the calendar this year for February 12th, second Sunday. So I don't know if anyone's going to be hosting a party or if we should just leave it at our own, discretion to having a church gathering in Cross Plains, or wants to host a Super Bowl gathering on the 12th of February. It's a 5:30 game.
Yeah, I have not yet had a conversation with the person that I need to, but so I guess we'll figure that one out.
When the time comes.
Prior to that day, we'll know what's going on.
Okay.
You said a couple things?
Oh, the Empower Conference is on March 10th in Rochester.
Yeah.
for 2 days, so, it's, overnight stay, so it's in Rochester, so it's not too far.
And that'll be good if you can maybe get there. I'm trying to, work away to,
Coordinate to get up there.
yeah, because I keep on trying to hire people. And so if I can hire people, which is harder to do than what you might think,
Oh,
because everybody's looking for people.
Right.
So some segment of the population, it could be that the aliens are just sucking people out of the, off the earth. And, maybe that's how come we have fewer workers. I don't know. But I'm working on it. All right. So thank you very much. That's a good reminder. Looking this way because I see a twitchy little hand over there. And so I want to make sure that I don't call on him. You know.
Just sort of ignore him. Yeah.
I make a
All right,
motion.
I'll turn my back now.
Did you hear what he said? I heard that. He tried to.
Such
He tried to
audacity.
usurp.
Yeah.
But the chair didn't call on him.
I know.
I just heard him talking. I don't know what he said though. What?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Do you have a second for that, Jordan?
Yes.
All right, well, we'll let Jordan do the second on that one. All in favor, stand up. And then we will, pray to be dismissed. Lord, thank you for a good day today. And thank you for the reminder that, no matter what we face, even trial and tribulation, that you can, not only be there with us, but that you will bring good out of it. And, we are so grateful. In Jesus' name, amen.
Did you read this part, David?